Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Masochist Insane Scenario. One thing of importance, I got a good MAM right here. The only problem, as you can already probably tell, is that it is incredibly laggy. I'm gonna slap it down right there. I got an achievement, 2 of them. This thing is very well made. It makes 12 belts of any shape over here. You can just plug in whatever shape you want over here. I was messing around with it and I put that shape, saved it apparently. But like I said, this thing is so laggy. I was messing around with it in Sandbox, and even this was lagging the game. Alright, I found a command to turn on the FPS. And if I walk around this area, it should drop a lot. Yeah, I went to 80. I would like to use 3 more of these so I can get a full space belt of output. That's probably not going to happen though, because this is going to slow the game down a lot more. First, let me plug a shape in there. I'll just plug in this shape first, because why not? And now I have to actually plug in all the inputs. So you can see there's some helpful labels here. That's stars, that's pins, that's diamonds, that's squares, that's paint, and that's circles. I also do need to input pins as a shape, but I haven't made those yet. I'll do that at some point. Here are diamonds. Here are stars. Circles. You know what would be pretty nice right about now? The 3rd machine level. Also, I really hope I'm gonna have enough shapes to saturate this. See, here I'm only extracting 4 space belts of these shapes, which is not enough to run anything. I have to plug in squares next. Those are all the shapes plugged in, except for pins, which I don't need yet. Now I have to figure out how I'm gonna get paint onto all 3 layers, and then input them. So using this thing, you just input paint, and it gets distributed onto the first, onto 1 layer on the same space belt. So all this green is going to the 3rd layer from all of the layers that it's on. Red is going to the 1st, and blue is going on the 2nd. Then you can plug this onto 1 space belt, and it should work. Hopefully this is enough to run the whole thing. I doubt it though. I have also realized I can't input it. This isn't the nicest place to input it, but it works. So once everything arrives, it hopefully should work. I know the shape preview is messed up. I think that's just a general thing for any MAM. That's a lot of space belts. Alright, so hopefully that starts working at least at some time soon. Looks like it is. So I'm just gonna have tasks running in the background. I would have more than 1 MAM running, but I don't want to do all this again. I feel like if I did this again, it would take up way too much more space that I need to make the milestones. Speaking of which, let's do this one first. For this milestone and some of the ones after it, you need 2 shapes to complete the milestone. This one and this one. First I need 2 of the exact same shape actually. Circles, diamonds, blue, red. Look at that. Unfortunately, I can't get this out because there's buildings in the way. So how do I swap this into what I need? Hey, that already started going in. 60,000 of those is crazy though. It's not the neatest blueprint, but it does get what I need. There's a very good chance I messed the numbers up and this is not it. We'll find out though. Alright, there's 2 space belts of this. Need some red, need some blue. And blue and red. Factor array time. Done. I'm debating actually making 3 space belts of all these milestones. On one hand it would be cool, on one hand it would be way too overkill. You know, I think I just make 1 space belt. It seems the nicest. Because I have to input 2 milestones at once. And, well, this is already used. Technically I only needed this. But I just don't want it to get jammed or anything. Also, if I did make 2 space belts of each milestone shape, then I can't input it. So 1 milestone, or 1 space belt per milestone it is. You know what would be pretty nice? The shape goal multiplier. Alright, those are coming in, so let me grab a train. That is that done. Time for the next one. Just need diamond, white. That's easy. Where should I put it though? This is not far enough away to put it over here. You know what? I'll cram it in here anyway. What's the worst that could happen? I need to make a 3/4 cutter again. I've made this platform again. But I really should save it. That's the 3/4 diamond. Need to grab a 1/4 square from over here. 1/4 square. Stack array. That's the shape. Just need to paint it white somehow. That's no. Can't have that. Now how do you make white? It's easy. I have this blueprint right here. No idea who made it. Oh, I put a label. Yeah, this guy. In the Shape to Discord, I stole it. This is a pretty good blueprint. Hopefully I don't need those squares anytime soon because I kind of built over them. White paint. There we go. I will attach it right here because why not? Why is that not uploading? Fix it. There we go. Apparently the preview for this milestone stopped working. Unless did I break something? It just hasn't received any shapes in a while. That's why. Surely that fixed it. Yes, it did. Let's check on the MAM after a while. Yep, it's MAMing. This thing is a very good MAM. This thing is so efficient. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever be able to make something like this. It's just so good. Here I am in the middle of the void to increase the FPS. Looks like it's working. At the cost of my computer fan. Oh, I got an achievement. You know, that's probably a side effect of this mod. Because I was speeding up time, it counted that. So, whoops. Done. Lower that. And let's head back. Yeah, 300 per second. I think that's more than what I'm making because I feel like I would have gotten that achievement already. So yeah, side effect of that mod. Whoops. Now, yeah, all I have to do now is change some of the colors and then we'll be good. However, I can't do that easily with this swapper platform, so I'll have to rework everything again. Nice. Alright, fine. Oh, that's done. Cool, let me copy that and then plug that in. There you go. It's hard to do tasks after you have an MAM to do everything for you. So it looks like one bow tie of diamonds needs to be magenta, the other one needs to be cyan. Maybe we should get a good blueprint that can mix and paint on the same platform. Alright, where is my mixer? Here it is. I need to make magenta first. Hey, that's done too. Magenta diamond. Now I need a cyan diamond. Cyan obtain. Plug it in. There's that. This is getting cramped already. With the cyan circles I can cut these in half, but first paint them. And cut them in half. Right? What I will do is copy this and then send this white over there. Or you can just send it right here. White paint. White everything. I forgot to stick the bow tie maker onto those. Here are all the parts. Oh, forgot that's mixed. I love stacker arrays. Okay, assuming nothing broke, that should be it. Nice. My god, I have to rework so much. Alright, I need a full cyan diamond and a half magenta diamond. Bow tie. How am I gonna fit that in here? I have no idea. Alright, that's the bottom layer. I need the diamond now, the cyan diamond. There's a diamond right here. And cyan's right here. Well, I can make some. How do I get green out? Like this. Cyan. Cyan diamond. I need to make magenta now. In the most convenient place it can go, right over here. That's not gonna work out. Over here then. Magenta. Send it all the way out. More diamonds needed. Let me grab them. So first is a painter. And then the cutter. That on the bottom. This on top. This on top. Bam. Screw it, I don't need to make this balance, just do this. We'll have to stop. There we go. So that'll work, and let me go into the void again so I can speed up time. I wish I could be making more, but I don't have space for the resources. Maybe I could increase the main bus, or maybe make it bigger. If space and resources weren't the concern, then my computer is, because my computer fan is running really fast right now. You can't hear it though, but it is going crazy. Maybe making 10x shape goals was a mistake. Okay, that's done. You know what I just realized that I forgot to do? What you can do is make all the other colors like magenta, cyan, white, and yellow from around in the world, and then ship them over as their own color in the main bus. I kind of forgot about that. So maybe I should, maybe off camera, build a better main bus with more space, all the colors, maybe even pins for in the future. That's something for another time though. Alright, back to the void. Why is it so slow, man? I bet I ruined something. Yep, that would explain a lot. Oh my god, man. Alright, back to the void. Looks like that's about to be done. Bam. Claim it. Copy the new code. Paste it. I need to find the best spot that gives me the best FPS so that the speed up is fastest. You know how long it's going to take to get 100,000 of that shape with only 12 belts? It's going to take so long. At least I don't have to make it, and it's doing it passively. That's done. Let's go. And I'm gonna erase this entire mess. Alright, I need actually that shape again. Circle, diamond, bow tie. One of them is cyan, one of them is white. Then I need this square bow tie, diamond bow tie, both magenta, and a white circle bow tie. I wish I kept that swapper platform that I had. Since I was an idiot and deleted that swapper platform, I have to make it again. Alright, I have made it again. Copy that a few times. 2 space belts. One has to be cyan. One has to be white. Since I have all the paint over here, I might get some mixes over here. Alright, mixer. I don't know where to put this, so right here looks like a good spot. I need cyan. Cyan is blue and green. Cyan of that thing. I do need to separate the diamonds and the circles. But the reason I did this was so I didn't have to use that much cyan, and I didn't have to make that much. And I have separated them. Those two are already done. This has to be white now. Let me grab a white mixer. White. This can be much more space efficient. However, I don't have the brain for that. Alright, time to do exactly what I did over here, except mirrored. Just like that. So now I need that magenta shape and that circle bow tie white thing. First let me make the magenta thing, which is square and diamond bow tie. Guess I'll need this again. Yes. How to make magenta with blue and red. Grab red from the nearest place I can grab it. I can't input blue in there. I wish I had the second or the third platform layer. Right over here. Magenta. Took some tinkering, but I got it to work. Painters. slap that on. And it's mixed. Of course it is. Alright, if I just paste this, it should work. Nice. I realized I didn't even need to do that. I can just put a swappers. Whoopsies. Alright. Yeah, see that? If I just use a swapper, I can get what I need, which is the bow ties. In fact, I believe if I just use this, it should work. Nope. Okay, how about a rotator and then the bow tie maker? Yes. There is one space built of that. Lastly, I need the last bow tie white circles. Why did this run out of shapes? Because I did that again. Man, I need to stop. What I can do now is do what I've done like 30 times by now. White circle bow ties. And that's the whole milestone shape right before I stack them. I have no idea what order to do it in, so circles first. Then I need the white circles, which are over here. Wait a second. I can't do that. I need to stack these two first. Wait. Why didn't I think of this earlier? They're right next to each other. I can just stack them right here. There we go. There we go. Cyan diamonds. Cool. This thing that I made. And this thing. How is that incorrect? Because the white thing is rotated the wrong way. Also known as this. Oh my god. This is also rotated the wrong way. Now I have to rotate these diamonds too. And I have to rotate these as well, I bet. I actually didn't have to. Awesome. Whenever something has to be rotated, I didn't do it. And whenever something doesn't have to be rotated, I do it. Funny how that works. That's correct. It was correct and I just trolled it. Oh. Hopefully that's max efficiency. Let's go. 200,000 is going to take a long time. Alright, I have all the space to do the other part, which is going to be pretty difficult. I need a full diamond cyan thing. I can just cut it in half and then make them into bow ties. A full magenta diamond. Square bow tie of white. Circle bow tie of white. And whatever that part is. You know, I think we should call this a fish because that's what it looks like. We have a square and the diamond tail. I just have to paint that cyan. I have to get more white and magenta and cyan. Hopefully if I siphon it off it doesn't ruin anything. It shouldn't. But you never know. Once again, use the magic of pulling things from wherever I could. Red from over here, green from over here, blue from over here. Alright, first is cyan because I said so. See, that's space efficient. Why can't they do that every time? A full diamond magenta. Magenta diamond. I'm gonna split those in half now because I don't have to do it later then. These are the bow ties. So I need to make the fish now. In order to make that I'll need white. And white. I'm gonna send these over to make the fishtail, and this one to paint the top layer of the shape, which is that thing. I'm gonna make another 1/4 cutter and painter and then use that again. So, bottom one is the diamond quarter, top one is the square quarter. I can stack them right over here. There's the fish. That's a pretty inconvenient spot for that, so let me move it over here. I missed that. Nice. Square bow tie, circle bow tie. Gotta copy this again. Here looks like a good spot. Plug the circles in like that. And the squares in like that. You're a bow tie maker, not that. Bow tie maker. Nope. Okay, rotators and then bow tie makers. That's better. Then I have to paint this white. I can still get this out. Done. This is all the parts. Everyone's favorite stacker array. First I need the fish, which is over there. I can get it out. There. Then I'll need these diamonds. Then I need the magenta diamond. Right over here. Oops. Then I need the other diamond. And then the last part. Fairly easy. I didn't check on this in a while. Is this max efficiency? Looks like it is. Need to plug this into a train line. Right here. And get blue locomotives. There. That should start working after a while. Hopefully it's max efficiency. I guess we'll find out if it's not though. Would you count this as spaghetti though? I would. Let's take a look at the vortex. Yes, everything is being inputted, including that. Alright, guess we're going back to the void to speed up time again. I found the optimal zoom. You see at the bottom left, there's a zoom level. See that thing that's moving? Whenever it crosses that border, it goes into space view. And there's another border right there. That's the outer space view. Like that. I found as soon as you go to the outer space view, this is where you get the most FPS. Oh, and this is almost done, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy the next shape code. Plug it in. Nice. It's been a while. 84,000 shapes have been delivered. That leads me to believe this is max efficiency. Yes, it is. Almost. Okay, man. Why is this half? I should not be lacking in white paint. But fine. Let me add more. That should be plenty of white paint to go around. Alright, back to the void. Somehow the shape I made after this one finished before this one. What's going on there? Well, they're both done now, but like, how does that make sense? Did this break again? This was never broken. This was max efficiency before. What? Ooh, that's not nice at all. So I just siphoned it from that, didn't thinking it would have consequences. Whoopsies. Pin pusher. In the meantime, I'll fix that and then maybe leave it running for a little bit longer. I'm back. It took some serious rerouting and serious breaks, but I got it to work. That should be max efficiency again. Alright, I'm gonna leave that running for a little bit, collect some research credits so I can spend them on this when I unlock it. So I'll see you soon. I'm gonna finish the recording exactly on the 2-hour mark. Hi everyone, I'm back. It's been a while since the last recording and a lot has changed. The first thing is I got a new mic. I have no idea how it sounds, so I'll have to check it in editing. The second thing that you might have noticed right now is that this main button has been improved a lot. I have increased the shape input. And I also have all the paints. There's magenta, yellow, cyan, white, green, blue, red. I also moved the MAM over here so it wouldn't take up so much space over there. Now I have plenty of space to work with over here. I might move this train line because it's in the way. You know what, I'll just do it right now. And there you go, diamonds are over there. And have all this empty space to build stuff. If we look around, I have improved the mining of these asteroids by a lot. And some of them I had mined too many shapes that I couldn't even fit them onto the amount of loaders I had assigned. That's the case with most of these, although I don't think some of them were big enough that I had to waste some. For the mixing, I mined a lot of paint and put them into a lot of mixers over here. And now they're being loaded. And over here are the white mixers. I'm making some white over here and some more over here. So with all that done, I can definitely go much more crazy on the shape production. One other funny thing is that this save takes a while to load now because of all the stuff in here. There are 476,000 machines, and most of it is just train logistics and like these miners and stuff. Not much is actually in like an actual production stuff like this. See, this is only 33,000 buildings, which, well, that's still kind of a lot, but not... Compared to this, it's not really a lot. Anyway, enough yapping. We should probably do some important stuff like this. First things first, I will need a quarter blue square, quarter blue diamond, quarter blue star, quarter gray diamond. That's a lot of quarters, but that's okay. Let me grab all the stars right here. I guess I'll just pull that. I'm also going to make 2 space wells with this because 450,000. Oh yeah, and when I was building all that, I managed to get a lot of levels on these, so I got a lot of extra research credits and I guess platform capacity. I also plugged these into the MAM. I finished this one. Now I'm working on this one. It's going to take a while to finish all the shapes though. Alright, time to finally actually build this. Painter and cutter. Where's my blue? It's up here. I am very aware this is a very weird style of main bus. I have shapes in the bottom and these paint on top. But you know, I think it works just fine. There are some stars. These squares also have to be blue, so I can just copy paste all this. The diamonds. These are all the parts in question. I can copy paste them. And copy. Paste. Maybe it would have been smarter to make 2 space belts in mind over here instead of making 1 space belt and copying it. It's fine though. Diamonds over there. Squares over there. Stars over there. Blue over there. And all done. Now for everyone's favorite again. It doesn't matter again what order they go in. You know, I should really make a space belt stacker. That would be smart. Alright, so here's the layout. I have 2 2x4 platforms. 1 space belt can go right there. 1 space belt can go right here. And right here's the output. Now what if I just copy this layout? No, it seems complicated. Alright, that took a while. I just copied this design, pasted it 4 times, wired it, and it should work in theory. Let's try it. So, those on the bottom, and these on top. Hell yeah. Huh? That's not good. Oh, that makes sense. There we go. 4 full space belts, hopefully. Gonna crank up the speed. Alright, I put a trash there so I can see if this is actually max efficiency. Never mind, I forgot to plug stuff in again. Also, that's not working. Why not exactly? What happened here? Don't tell me I got jammed again. Okay, to prevent it from getting jammed again, I'm putting overflows there. Hey, that's done. Honestly, if you want to see how long something took, just look at the progress of this task. Whatever task is in there, you'll see how long it takes. By the way, it looks like this is max efficiency. I fixed some silly mistakes that I made and it's working just fine. Love to see it. I'm gonna save this. Space belt stacker. Look at this, isn't this so much better than making really giant stacker arrays? It looks a lot crazier, but it is cooler. And I can just copy paste all this. Bam. 2 space belts. Right after protection shows up. Alright, grab a train and then send it on its way. They are going to go into the vortex at some point, so let's just wait until and see. I put that in a very convenient spot, also known as the middle of everything. In order to make this, I need a full diamond with that corner swapped, and then 3/4 red circle, again with that corner swapped. I also have to make 2 space belts with this, so I'm just going to grab some diamond and then see what happens. Over here looks like a good spot. Alright, I did not plan for expansion at all. That was a bit silly of me. Oh well, I am going to build it anyway. I once again had to make a 1/4 cutter, so I'm going to make one and then actually save it as a blueprint this time. And there we go. Save it this time. Erase bottom right corner. Cool. I do need to paint these first. Let me do that. What if I got a space belt painter now? I am back. This is horribly space inefficient. Once again, I copied this, pasted a few times, wired everything. Yeah, this is a bit funny, but you know, I don't care. I want the inputs to be nice. I want like a straight line, straight line, straight line. See how nice that is? Also, that's done. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna make sure this works and then save it. Looks like it works. Is it max efficiency is the question. Let's find out. For some reason, there's no paint going in there. That would explain a lot. I just realized that also still won't work. I need 2 launchers. Whoopsies. Why is this not getting enough paint? I am back after extensive not really testing. I have determined that yes, this does work at max efficiency. Ignore those gaps. I fixed some other problems with the prototype that I erased, but this works now. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna have a lot of fun designing that space belt crystallizer. Anyway, now I can actually do what I wanted to. Maybe I should make a new folder. And there you go. I now have a third folder. 48 belt stuff. I don't have icons for them yet. I probably should. Alright, in order to do this, I need this to go here. And this to go here. Look how much nicer that is to set up. Holy. Alright, I need to separate that bottom left quarter, which I do remember I have a blueprint for. Here it is. It even has an overflow. Surely this just works. It's the wrong one, but yeah. This blueprint separates the top left, so I have to rotate this so that that's the top left, and it already is huge. Very awesome. And because of the built-in overflow protection, it won't get jammed. So with that done, I can honestly just copy this because I also need it for these diamonds. There we go. That's in the way of that. I should probably push this up a little bit. Oh, I forgot how big this is. Okay, fine, move it over here. Space belt stacker. Slap it down. This has to go like that. This has to go up top, I think. Well, I can put this there. So like this. What if I put this and stack those? Space efficient. Just slap it down wherever it can fit. That goes there. That can go to the side. This has to come down. Oh. Very good. Another stacker. This has to go up top. Surely, yep. It's the wrong orientation, but I can fix that. There, that took a while, and that's only one space belt. Have to copy all that. Alright, guess I'm copying all this. I need more diamonds, which are up here. I need more circles, which are somewhere. That's our stars. These are circles. Plug the circles in there. Need red. Just gonna siphon it from here. Surely, nice. Stacker time. Incorrect. Right, because that has to go on top. So this on the bottom, that on top. Like this. Slightly unique layout, but it worked out. 2 space belts. I'm going to move this train down. Or over to the side. Now, the next shape just requires you to reorder or reorganize how the parts you already have. That means I can tear down, honestly, all the stackers. Boom. So I just have to reorder how the shapes are stacked. So, star and square. I can stack those like normal. These 2 can also be stacked like normal. Alright, those have been rotated. That's already going in. Like this. That has to go on top. Very easy. Let me copy paste this. Bonk. 2 space belts already done. if the preview would show up. It tends to not do that. What? Alright. I forgot to rotate them. There we go. But now it should. Yep. For the next step, I just have to paint that diamond yellow and make some pins. I should probably steal a pin maker blueprint. I tried to make one. It did not go well. Alright, time to steal a blueprint. This one looks pretty good. Paste it. Bam. This will input 12 belts of any shape and then output 9 belts of pins. By the way, I know how to make pins, it's just I tried to make a blueprint for a pin maker and it just didn't work out very well. I spent like 3 hours on that blueprint too, so kinda sucks that I wasted time like that. Anyway, I'm going to test it on a random shape such as this one. That's not how it works at all. Oh. There we go. I'm sure it's not actually outputting that. Okay, well the prediction is messed up because there's a lot of wire shenanigans in here. But yeah, it's going to output a full belt, or well 9 belts of standalone pins. Oh yeah, I should probably save it. That would make a lot of sense. Pin maker. Actually first, let me sign it. This was made by Dragonheart996. They made my 1x2 crystallizer that I stole, so shout out to them. They make some good blueprints. And signed. Now I can save it. Gotta give credit, you know. So I need only 2 standalone pins. That's how many I need. Assuming I didn't do the math wrong, which I probably did because I'm not very good at math. Also, you see it's flashing like I have a correct shape because there actually is a shape. This one is just standalone pins. So I need to cut them in half. Then I just need the bow tie maker. I really wish the prediction would be correct, because now I can't see which one. You know, that's probably enough. I might have gone overboard, I have no idea. I can't do math, okay, it's hard. I'm pretty sure I won't need this, so I'm just gonna leave it there for now. If I do, then I guess I'll come back for it. Wait a second. Why are there diamonds coming out? So the shape preview... Man. What? Look, there's some diamonds in there. There shouldn't be any diamonds in there. They should be getting stopped, but apparently some of them snuck through. It looks like it stopped though. Oh well, I'll just clear it. Bam. Now it should be making exclusively standalone pins. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna sue this guy. In the meantime, since that got done, I'm gonna plug these into the trains now. Send it. Done. The prediction is still showing some diamonds going in there, so I really hope that's just the prediction being funny with the sorter gates. And now all I have to do to turn it yellow is plug yellow into this line right here. Convenient yellow is right over here. I have painted that red. I've painted that yellow. That wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I have to paint the diamonds, which I have not done. Luckily for me, since I made a face belt painter, I can just put that right there. Diamonds have been painted yellow. Very good. Then I can just attach another stackers, like this. This has to go right over here. It is correct, sometimes according to the prediction. But that's good enough for me. I also have to paint some of these diamonds yellow, so how am I can do that? Right over here. Where's my convenient yellow? Here it is. Very good. Stackers. Correct. And now I just wait for this to be done so I can move the trains over. Since I don't have anything to do, I'm going to speed up time and wait in the void. Also, did any of you notice I have a stack of operator levels? Look at this. 1 stack of operator levels. Looks like this is about to finish, so let me go start the next part of it. This one. Where's the MAM? Here it is. Got the lag. There we go. That'll work soon. I love that this is working at max efficiency. Makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. Oh, well, that's a problem. There's no stop over here. So that's never been working. Whoopsies. Yeah, oh well. I definitely could use this other input, by the way. Seems like annoying. How many shapes are getting delivered there now? Holy, that's a lot. I should probably put that out of commission before it jams everything else. Alright, stop delivering. Yeah, I think that's enough shapes to finish the milestone. So maybe I should plug that in. It's still flashing, but it's completely correct, right? Yep, that looks correct to me. Alright then, normal speed. Move all this again. That will work eventually. There's still some garbage in there, it looks like. Now for the final milestone, I just have to push that quarter up, rearrange that, and then that's basically it. But I'll have to do that after this is done. So give me a second. I'm back. It's at 90,000. That's probably enough. I increase the speed instead of lowering it. Where's my place? Here it is. Is it still being delivered? Yes, it is. So that should be done in like 30 seconds. That's working fine, I think. Not really. What? Where are all the shapes, man? What happened? Oh, you know, I probably ran out of shapes in here. Yeah, that would explain a lot. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, that's fine. Anyway, I have to rework most of this now, so what to do? So I need that quarter to be out of there. Instead of stacking this red quarter with that and then stacking that on, because I do need to take out that bottom left quarter anyway and move it up. You'll see. Oop. Yeah, right here. The diamond, the circle, I just have to move them up. I also have to take that quarter and move it up. It shouldn't be that hard to rework this. Remove all this though. Since I have these two parts here, I might as well just stack them right here. Right here, since I need that quarter right there to be separated, I'm going to copy this again. First I have to rotate this 180 degrees so that this is over there, and then I gotta cut out. So, 180 rotator. This. Down. This can go out of the world somewhere. So I have that, the bow tie. This is gonna be useful for something. I can stack these pins with this right here to save a little bit of space, I think. The pins are on there. Now I just have to fix the one that's over here, and then I can stack it on top of that. So instead of stacking these, I'm going to not stack them. I can do the same thing I did on the other side, rotate this 180 degrees and then split them again. This needs the pins on it. Whoopsies, not how it works at all. That should be it. Now I need to stack this with that. You know what, I'll just put it right here. Of course it's upside down, man. I have to figure out a way to stack them without making a huge mess. This has to go over here. And then plug this in. Nice. Now it doesn't really matter which one I put there, I think, so what next? This one. Here looks like a nice place to input it. Yep. This is gonna be a really long stack array. Also, why don't I just mirror those? Like this. These stack arrays are nice, but they are very big. Well, I guess it is still smaller than making a whole row of them. Okay, now I need one last piece. That should be it. Yep. That is one space belt. That was honestly a lot easier to assemble than this one for some reason. Probably because the parts were closer and more lined up. Anyway, all of this is the milestone. Very space inefficient. I could definitely make it better if I really wanted to, but why would I do that? Let's make some trains. Do I even need to? Nah. I could probably just make a giant space belt. Plug it in right there. Plug this in right there, and someday it will work. Oh, that's done too. Cool. Now, all of those require pins, which I have not set up for the MAM, so I'm just gonna do the Among Us one. Alright, that should work. That's a problem. There you go. Okay, I am back. I did leave it running for quite a bit. So much so that my playtime is now 40 hours and 50 minutes. I don't know what it was before that, but I think it's like 34 or something. So yeah, I kind of inflated the playtime a lot. That is also a side effect of fast forward because I was at 3x fast forward mostly. So time was moving 3x faster. Anyway, I'm going to tear down all of this and see how many levels I got. So everything except for the MM has been torn out. Let's unlock the third space level finally. And see how many of these levels I got. I had to deliver 450,000 and the next level is only 8,000, so I'm guesstimating we can reach level 80. 86. I might have gone a little overkill with delivering because I left it running, but then I had a thing to do and I didn't close the game, so yeah, I might have left it running for a little too long, but all. It's time for the next milestone and I need 2 shapes. Also, I've realized it's going to take a while to do all the tasks. If I want to finish all of them in a reasonable time, I'll either have to do them on my own or expand the MAM. Nah, who cares about tasks, honestly. So, how do I make this shape? This shouldn't be too bad. Once I do finish that, I can just delete it, make that. Once that's done, delete it, make that. Same thing with this one. So I need magenta square quarter, yellow circle quarter, and this square and circle half thing. I can paint it white. I will grab squares from right here. Nope, right here. I really need to get a 1/4 cutter. That is a quarter cutter. A little bit of blueprint designing later, I realized I was able to fit this on a 1x4, so that 2x4 platform was a giant waste of space. I also replaced every long belt with these longeres just to reduce the switchover time a little bit. It would probably help. And I have built-in overflow protection so I don't have to make a separate blueprint when it inevitably gets jammed. I didn't even test this, by the way. I just kind of built it without... Okay, it works. Never mind. Okay, now it works. I just forgot some catchers. But yeah, this is a 1/4 cutter on a 1x4. I'm gonna save this. I forgot to build it on all 3 floors. Whoops. I labeled it... Right, the trash. Huh. Maybe I should get the any layer trash mod, because then that would work. So here's an interesting problem. I can't get those into trash. It once again took some shenanigans, so I moved this from over here to over here, and then it gets launched over here where there's space to get dumped into the trash. Alright, this is the finished blueprint with overflow protection for all 3 floors, and it has all 3 floors, unlike the first one. There we go. 12 belt quarter cutter. Right here. Nope, that's not it. This one. That took a very long time to make. Yeah. I don't know if I'm bad at blueprint designing or what. This one goes there, this one goes there. And I need painters. One of them has to be magenta, the other one has to be white. I guess that one can be magenta because white is over here. So 1 space belt of those parts. Then I need circles. I will need more circles over there. Quarter cutter. Painter. I need yellow now. Yellow's right here. That should be all the parts. So these 2 can get stacked right here. Like this. And this has to go on top. Like this. I am so glad I made a space belt stacker. I have this shape. I would make more space belts, but once again, I don't have enough room. Since I have to make 2 milestone shapes to be delivered at the same time, I don't have 4 space belts worth of vortex inputs. Just put this on a train and be done with it. Alright, surely that'll work someday. Where's my train line? Right here. For this part I need a bow tie of magenta and bow tie of yellow. Those ones are pinned. I had to get circles all the way over there. Maybe I should have built this over here, so I had room to build over here. I do have the third platform layer now, like I always wanted, so I could use that if I really need it. Probably will at some point. So first, magenta bow ties. Once again, being very optimal, I can have a painter here. Like this and like this. There you go. One of them has to be yellow, one of them has to be magenta. So pull yellow from right there. And pull magenta from right here. Bow tie makers. These ones have to be pinned, so let me do that real quick. I do have a pin pusher platform right here. Like this. Surely that's just it. Yep. Look at how small that is. Grab a train, grab some loaders, you know the drill. That will work at some point. Why hasn't the Among Us started arriving yet? I thought I plugged that into the MEM. Oh, it's done and I never plugged in the next shape. Whoopsies. There we go. Also, am I crazy? But this has to be Among Us references, right? I don't see what else it can be. It's literally called Suspicious. I'll be surprised if this is not an Among Us reference. On the topic of references, there's an achievement called Ranma. If I can find it. Here it is. Have 100 swappers. Keyword swappers. Also look at the shape. It's pink and black. Anyway, I've done everything I can, so speed up time. Look at this. Not very high FPS, but at least the entire vortex is full. Alright, what's next? Rework the whole thing. Lovely. Just tear down all of this. This space belt of circles is not in a nice spot at all. Like this. What do I have to do? I need a bow tie of squares, 2 bow ties of circles, all painted different things, and some standalone pins. Paint, cut, rotated. Right there. And I can just pull yellow. Next up is the bow ties of circles. I can once again copy this. You know, I don't think this is max efficiency. Nope. I did some math wrong. There we go. And I have to fix this as well. Those two are magenta. This one has to be white. Those are all of those. Very nice. I need to get standalone pins from somewhere. How about from over here? Here's the pin maker. Grab a few of those. Hopefully some garbage shapes don't make it out like they did last time. I also have to cut these in half. This might be way too many pins. Yeah, see, there's some garbage in here. Ugh. Alright, I need to fix this. And the time I was messing around with this, that got done. Alright, I have added garbage protection. Basically, whatever's not a standalone pin will get filtered out into the garbage. I forgot to launch these out. Whoopsies. Paste it back. Hopefully now there's no more garbage. That should be a little bit more of a space belt of pins facing that way. Hey, it looks like my filter is indeed working. You see, there's a little bit of garbage, but it's all going into the trash where it belongs. Because I only need standalone pins around here. I need to stack pins on top of that, so let me grab my space belt stacker. Right here. Surely? Nice. I hope that's correct. It is. Why are there squares in there? Oh my, wait a second. This has to be squares exclusively, and this went over there. How did I mess that up? There we go. Pins have to go there. The next one doesn't require that much more modifications. I need a yellow quarter circle, a white quarter circle, and I can pin these magenta circle bow ties. I can get the pin platform right there. And I need a yellow quarter circle, I'll bet 1/4 cutter. Right here. 1/4. I need 2 of these. This one has to be yellow, that one has to be white. Let me grab painters. Yellow. And white. From over here. Stack them. So these have to go on the bottom, that goes on top. And this goes... wait. Yeah, that goes on top. So like this. Yeah, nice. Wow. Why are you going in circles? There. Both of them are done at the same time again. Among Us is done. I've put overflow protection everywhere where it needed to be. And let's do this one. Copy. And claim it. If we take a look at that next step, I have to rework so much. I think there's no point in trying to keep this and then trying to figure out how to use it for the last step. I'm just going to tear down and make this from scratch. At least I won't need the pin maker for this because that's 5 layers already. Whatever shape you put on there will just get, the pins will just fall. This one you can do something similar because that's 5 layers tall. You drop a shape there, the pins will fall off. I started this shape after this shape, but it has higher progress. How? Gonna check on them again. That is completely empty. Where did all my shapes go? Was I lacking in delivery? I am. Great. This is gonna keep happening. I just need magenta circle, white circle, yellow circle, and some pins on some of them. Alright, that is done, so delete this all. I'm gonna leave a little bit more space because I will have to expand this area a little bit. First, magenta circle. I do have convenient circles right here. Circle and magenta's right there. Magenta circle. I need a white circle. White circle, I'm gonna have to do some cutting shenanigans. Yellow circle. I will need more circles though. Didn't realize how many circles this shape needed. I just need one more. Half it has to be yellow, half has to be white. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Painters. These have to be yellow. And the other one has to be white. Where's white? Here it is. Oh, that one's done finally. Took a lot longer for some reason. Now the white ones are right next to each other. 2 of them have to be facing down. I guess these can all be facing down. There's all the white half circles. This has to be on the top half as well. Just copy this. Bam. These are all the parts I need, I think. Right, one of those half has to have pins underneath it. Let's copy all this. There, these should be all the parts I need. Now, let's get a crap ton of stacker arrays again. Put it right here, I guess. Magenta circle. I need the white bottom half, which there's one right here. Plug it in. Another stacker. The yellow top half, which is right here. Then I need the white top half, right over here. This will go in right there. And then the pinned ones can go right on top. I need the last white half. And now I'm just missing the pins. Could use these, but why would I do that? I'm gonna use the layer limit instead. Pinned. Nice. Then in theory, if I stack this on top of all that, it should give me the standalone pins. It's gonna go, this cursor got pushed off the layer limit. Yes, it did. There. And delete this because I don't need it anymore. Hopefully I left enough space to do the other milestone. I'm sure I did. This one is also not too bad. Just a full yellow square, a full magenta circle, half white square, half magenta square. If I get a full shape with some pins on it and drop it there. That is a big mess. Full yellow square. Full magenta circle. I'll have to do cutter shenanigans. I guess I can do that now, so that it's not messy later. Squiggly space belts. What's next? Half white square. Let's do it. Here's some convenient white. Oh, I can't. Even with 3 layers, I can't get the white over. That's nice. White half squares, right? Oh, I forgot to plug it in here. There we go. Then the magenta half square. I can just copy this, honestly. Surely, nice. Both of them have to be pinned. These are most of the parts I need. I just need the full shape with pins on it to drop up there, so let me grab that. Guess I'll just use the squares because they're the closest. Alright, giant stack array again. First is the yellow square, which is all the way over there for some reason. So I have that. I need... Yeah, that's just completely wrong. I don't know why I tried that. This will have to do. Next I need the magenta half square, which is right here. Plug it in. Next is the white half square, which is right over here. Now I can plug this in. And in theory, if I drop this, it should just work. Let's find out. Surely? Nice. Train line. So those milestones should be done at some point. It might take a while because I need 300,000 of each and I'm only making 1 space belt. Right? Let me check. Finally, max efficiency. For the first time this episode, I bet. Once this starts filling up, I can check on it, and hopefully that works too. Looks like the MAM shape is done. Claim it, and now the blue is the imposter. First it was blue, then yellow was the imposter, now it's blue again. I don't know what the hell is going on over here. Also, that crossed 100,000. Let's take a look at max efficiency. Very nice. So I'll wait for those to be done. Once it's done, I'll claim the milestone and then leave it running for a while, like I always do. Final stretch. Done. Let's take a look. Did it break? Yes. How did I know? I connected more pipes for everything except for magenta. Ah. Either way, that's almost done, so I'm gonna wait for that to be done. Plug the next shape in. This insanity. Paste it in. And then I'm out of here. I will see you once that's done. It is almost done. Now it's done. Surely it's max efficiency now. Nice. I am no longer lacking magenta paint. I'm just gonna claim it right now. Crystals. Got an achievement. So, crystals in Insane Scenario are pretty crazy. You've probably seen before. Also, I've never seen this message before. Do not drop, break, or eat. I'll definitely be dropping and breaking them. Probably won't be eating them though. But yeah, let's take a look at these miles or the new tasks. That's gonna be difficult. That's gonna be difficult. That's gonna be difficult. That's gonna be difficult. You get the idea. Basically, every task that involves crystals can be difficult. Especially this one. Not to mention these 2 milestones also have a crazy amount of craziness in them. And the next one, floating crystal. In the next episode, I will do these 2, complete milestone 7, and also complete this to complete milestone 8. And maybe after that I can do these crystal tasks because I don't have an MAM that can do that. I could steal one again, but probably want to do those for myself. Like always, I'm going to leave this running for a little bit, complete some extra of these. And I'll see you in the next episode. You should like, comment, subscribe, do everything. Thanks for watching.